Okay, it is the last weekend in March here, and we're going to look at the orchard. And as you can see by the end there, the apricot's in full bloom. It was in partial bloom last week, and now it is in 100% full bloom. And as for review, it is always the first one to bloom. You can see that none of the others are blooming. As a matter of fact, it's way out in front because none of the others have really even got very far at all. So let's look at the pear tree first. Just go around the overall shape. There's not much change obviously in the shape because there's not a lot of leaves, but you can see here that the leaf or the buds are definitely much more swollen than last week. And you can start to see where this little thin red piece here and then all the other big clusters there. So the big clusters are going to be flowers, which will produce fruit, and the little thin ones will be the leaves that will unfold there. So here's another look at them here and here. So they're all in that really fat, swollen stage. So it won't be long until they have full bloom and start to unfurl completely. They're still bunched up, but it won't be long before they open up. And then our cherry, once again, no big changes to the structure. I think, well, I guess maybe I've done the final, I can't remember when I shoot the weekly update videos and the final pruning, but if that was then or not. But anyway, its structure's where it's going to be. With these ones, we're finally starting to see some movement here. You can see the green start to show there, and there, and there, and there. And that means that we're getting closer. So you can also see, I believe this is correct, I usually remember this and kind of forget it from season to season, the different types of buds. But here we can see this big round globular one and this kind of like oblong one. It's skinnier, more like a point. And I'm pretty sure that these are leaf buds and those are flower buds. So this will become cherry and this will become a leaf. So I believe that's how it goes. We can double check as things progress, but like I said, we can see some green now, so that's fantastic. We're starting to see, not quite open yet, I guess a couple here. You can kind of see there, you can almost see the lobes. You can see like 3 lobe type structure. Some of them you can't yet, you can just see the green. So probably next week we'll definitely see some more progress on that. That's it for the cherry. For the apple, which is the last one to in the blooming process here, it's finally made a change in status from what they call a silver tip to, I think, green tip they call it. I can't remember the exact definitions of these things, but this is pretty much what the silver tip looks like. It's just silver, there's nothing on there. But now we can see this part right here, and there's a little bit of you can see the little bit of the fork looking thing there. Those are the tips of the leaves, and so that's what they call, I believe, green tip. Regardless of what it's called, it's basically saying, hey, I'm starting to open up. So when we're looking around here, like I say, some of them barely open, some of them, like right here, I can see, if I hold my hand there, right there, you can start to see the little edges coming out. So, and then right here is probably an even better example, right there. So right there, we're looking at those little forks. Those are going to be the leaves opening up, and also the flowers as well. So some progress, but once again, the apple is always the last one to go. And here is our peach tree and our pear tree. So when we look at the peach, we're seeing just a little bit of change, not a whole lot. We can see, let's find a good one against the sky here, right here. So you can see a little bit of green there, and even more importantly, you can see the leaf, they call it the calyx there. You can see it starting to grow, and you can see it there and there. And once you see it, you can really identify. Once you identify it, you can see it much clearer. There's the tip, here's the one there, the little leaf bud, flower bud type thing. And that's kind of the way the structure normally goes. You'll have a leaf bud here, and then over here you'll have a cluster with flower, 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 leaf. And so hopefully you can see that against the sky there. There's the leaf and there's the flowers, and that's the format here. Boom, the same structure, same structure. So anyway, starting to see some activity there, and I think I have done the final fine-tuning pruning since the last video, which probably won't notice a big difference. It was just mostly just helping direct the tree for what the shape I want to, final shape I want to be for next year. But you won't see much until the leaves start popping off, and the flowers. Obviously that looks a lot different because of the flowers. And then with the pear tree number 2, same thing. Buds are swelling. This one's a little more developed, a little more further along in the process. They're starting to get kind of, the buds are starting to loosen up a little bit. You can see more of the little stringy leaf part opening up and being separate from the tight part. So, because this part gets sun longer in the afternoon, the other tree is behind the house, shades it in the evening, so it doesn't get as much sun as this one does. So this one's usually a little further along, but you can see right there starting to open up, and won't be long before it's blooming. So back way up for the apricot tree. Made a few little fine-tuning cuts to get some of the stuff off, but most of it was just fine-tuning the stuff that's going to stay with us over the years. And I marked with the ribbon the things that are going to need to probably come out in the next few years so that we can get a more manageable structure. So as you can see, it is in full bloom, and it is very fantastic. It's very gorgeous, and there's lots and lots and lots of bees around there. So we can see that there's some bees up there doing their magic. Hopefully we'll actually get some fruit this year. So there they are. There are a few that are in past bloom, but most all of them are in here. And the thing about this is you still get everything. Like here's one that's barely open. You can barely see any white. Here's one that's just white. Here's one that's starting to open. These are fully open. There's one that's partially open. It's just amazing how you can see, even on the same branch, a whole bunch of different little things. This one here, you see it's kind of behind. There's stuff there. And it looks like right there, a little green flecks. Those look like aphids. That's going to be something I have to watch out for. Something I'm not excited about. I've noticed that in a couple other spots here. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that and see how that's going to have a big impact. Usually they're not that big of a deal. They're just kind of an annoyance. But anyway, so apricot tree blossoming, gorgeous, and the other trees are on their way to blooming. So that is it for our orchard this last week in March. And next week this will still be mostly white, and the others will still be mostly bare till we start to get I think the cherry tree will be next for the blooming, but we'll see. Alright, thanks for watching.